Hi guys, and welcome to another Divi theme tutorial. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignertechtips.com. Well, today we're going to create this little pop-out service module. We've got a module there, and when we hover over the button or click on the button, it sort of reveals these two little text blocks there. It's quite a nice little effect, and it's pretty easy to do. You've got to do a bit of manipulation with your modules, but it's quite easy. So let's get started. I'm using the Divi theme here. The Divi theme's absolutely awesome, just keeps getting better and better. I'm going to build on the front end with a visual builder here. If you want to take the Divi theme for a test run, you can do so from my affiliate link below this video. So now we've got the visual builder loaded, let's go down to where we want to start. And I'm going to add a new section, little blue button here, regular section. Within that section, I'm going to add a row. Before I add a module, I want to change a few settings in that row. So I'm going to close out that where it's prompting us to add a module. I'm going to go to our row settings here. The blue tab, that's for our section. The green tab's for our row. And when we have one, the dark tab will be for our module. So I'm going to go into the row settings. And I want to go to design. I want to go to sizing. I want to use a custom gutter width. I'm going to set that to 1. You can either type it in or use these arrows here or use the slider. The width I want to make 100%, which is the full amount of the available area it can fill. And the height for this, we're going to say 320 pixels. You can make it what you want. You just got to remember what it is, the size, because you want to use this for all your modules. And I want 320, not 302. And we'll make sure it's auto on the height. We want to make sure that it's for the tablet. We want it to be auto. That's fine. And the phone auto also. Fantastic. Padding wise, if we go to spacing, I'm going to make sure I've got 0 padding top and bottom. So I'm going to put a 0 in at the top, just hit the chain mark, and it'll show the bottom. As you can see, we're actually in the phone view right now. If you want to change your views from phone, desktop, tablet, just click the little purple button here. It'll open up this icon menu here, and just click the desktop icon to get back to a desktop. There we go. Alright, now the next thing we want to do is add a blurb module to our row. So let's click the check mark to close that. Hit our little dark circle there to add a module, and we'll add a blurb module. What I'll do is I'll give it a title of service. You can call it what you want for yours, but that's what I'm doing. I'm going to get rid of all this content here. I'm just going to delete it. There we go. Now let's have a look at our design here. Image and icon. I want to use an icon. So I guess I'll use that one that I used at the top there, which was the computer monitor. There it is. That's fine. So we've got that in there now. If we go to the background, want to add an image. I've got one that I'll add. So I'm going to go over to image right here, add a background image. There's the image I've got. This image I've got today is actually 350 by 243 pixels. Don't want it too large, as long as it's going to cover our module here, which we made at 320. So that's going to be absolutely fine. So I'm going to put this image in there. Okay, and I want it to fit, which will make it a bit smaller. There we go. And I want that image position to be top center. There we go. Just want to check my rows. I'm just going to save that a minute. I want to check I changed the guttering on my rows correctly. Yeah, that looks right to me. So I want to go back into my blurb, and I'm also going to add a background gradient to it. So if we go back down to our background, let's add a gradient, which is this second tab right here. I'm going to leave that one as it is. I'm going to just make a darker blue on the bottom here, I think. Fairly dark like that. And if we change our start and end positions, it'll make it a bit more defined. Just put it how you want it. You can play with these settings however you like to play with them. Say the end position. You can see that getting darker as I take the end position down. Sort of makes it more defined. And finally, we're going to place the gradient above the background image. So that'll kind of cover it up. There we go, like that. So if we scroll on down, if we go back up to our background, click on our image and scroll down. If we go to image blend, find something that works for you. Multiply, that's pretty good. You can see that image coming through a little bit. I might just leave it on that, but you can get some wonderful effects. So do have a look through. Luminosity, there's another nice one. Have a look, see what works for you. So I'm just going to leave mine on multiply, I think. That's kind of getting the effect that I want there. Okay, let's go over to our design tab. And icon, I think I'll make that one white. There we go. If we go down to text, I want the text color to be light. I want it to be centered, so I'm going to put that to light. There we go. I think I want that title text to be a little bit bigger. Here's our text size. I guess we'll take it up to about 30. Put the letter spacing a little bit bigger. There we go. That's fine. Now we want to set a max width for this as well in the sizing. So let's go down to sizing. And we'll say the max width wants to be 320. So that'll make it square with the height, because we know our height's 320 because of our image. And the module alignment, we want it in the middle. So that's right there. And the height, we want to make that 320 as well. There we go. It's looking a bit more like it now. So let's add a bit of padding and make our corners a bit rounded here. So let's go down to spacing. Let's just give it a bit of padding on the top of, say, 60 pixels. Might want a little bit more. Yeah, let's make that 70 actually. Something like that. I think I'll make my service text a little bit bigger, more like it is in the one above here. So if we go back up to the title text, if you click on that little blue brush icon there, it'll take you straight to the font you want, and ours is H4 there. So let's bring that up a little bit more so it's more in size with this one. Say 40 pixels. How does that sound? That's great. Okay, so we've got our padding. Let's give it a little bit of rounded corners here. So that's with our border. And we'll give it 10 pixels. If you've got the chain icon linked, it'll do all 4 at once for you. You don't need to put in pics, it'll put it for you. If you want to do a percentage and make it round, you'll have to put the percentage mark in there. So we've got our rounded corners. And finally, we want to set our z-index. Now the z-index is what actually dictates where it sits on our website, whether it's forward or backwards of another module. So I'm going to put this z-index to 1. Then we're going to have a button on top of it in the middle, and I'll give a higher z-index, which is perhaps 2, which will make sure that our button sits on top of this module at all times. So that's fine. Let's just save that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another module, a little dark button here. I'm going to add a call to action. That's fantastic. And with this, I'm going to actually leave everything that it's got there. I'm going to set my writing, I think, to the left align it. That's fine. Text size, yeah, it's pretty good. Let's go to our sizing and make it the same width as our other one. So here's our sizing, here's our width. We want to make it 320, which is what we made our other one. There it is right there. And we want modular alignment, and we want it sort of different because on the desktop we want it to be to the left. So if I hit this little mobile phone icon here, it'll give us desktop, tablet and phone option. Tablet, desktop I want on the left, tablet one in the center, and phone I want in the center too. And as you can see, when I'm clicking on these tabs, it's showing you what it's going to look like on those devices. And I'm also going to want to give it a height of 320, exactly the same as our other one. And margin, we're going to want to pull it up so it's in line with this one. And we know that's 320, so we can pull it up by minus 320 in our spacing right here. So let's do that. Just roll that down so you can see what's going on. Like I say, we know the height's 320, so if we give it a margin of minus 320, it'll pull it up there. There we go, that's nicely in line. And I want to give it the border the same as we've got here, which was 10 pixels. Rounded corner. And I can give it a little bit of padding, I guess, but I might run out of space there. I might want to remove some of that text. So let's give it some padding. 40 pixels, say 40 pixels all around. Hit link item. There we go. There we go, that's fine. That actually worked just a little bit better than I thought. I thought 40 pixels might be a little bit too much there. Okay, what we need to do now is duplicate this module. So if I hit save, roll over it, now I can't see the module icon here. So what we can do, we can go to wireframe mode. Let's go to wireframe mode, which is this little icon down to the bottom left here. And there's our modules, there's the blurb, there's our call to action. I want to duplicate it, so I'm just going to hit the two squares there. This wireframe is really handy if you can't see something in the regular view. I'm going to go into this new one. I'm not going to change anything here. Obviously you'd have unique text to put in there. But what I want to do is I want to align this module to the right this time. And we've already got our settings in there for 320 height and everything like that. So we should be pretty good to go with this module. And while we're in here, I'm just going to save that. And what we want to add a button below all this. So while I'm in here, I'm going to go ahead and add that button. And there it is. And let's turn back to our desktop mode. I'll just click on the desktop icon there. And what do we want our button to actually say? Well, I'll use the same as I did up here, which is learn more. Try and spell it right. Link, obviously, if you want that button to take you somewhere else, put your link in there. I don't, because it's just literally going to serve to open this one up here, which is fine. So if we go to our design, Alignment wise, I want that button to be in the middle. I want the text color to be light. Here's the button. I want to use custom styles for the button. Now, because we made it light, you can't see it about that background, but if I change the background color of the button, you'll be able to see it again. Here's the text color. Here's the background color. I'm just going to add a background color, which is, I'll just use our blue we've been using. That's fine. And again, we'll give it a bit of a border radius. We'll say 10 pixels. Give it some slightly rounded corners there. Okay. That's kind of looking like we want. Where's that button text gone? Put a capital L on there. Don't know why I put a lowercase on there. So that's fine. And we can take that letter spacing up just a little bit, I imagine, if we wanted to. Text size, let's take that up. I think actually the size is okay. What about the letter spacing? Here we are. Let's just take that up to perhaps 4. Gives it a little more space. Now that's getting there. But we want that button up here, and we want these things to be hidden, don't we? So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so we want that button up first. So let's go to our design and then to margin, which will be in spacing, and let's take it up by 25 pixels, which will be minus 25 pixels top, negative, which will take it upwards. That's fine. That's sitting just exactly where we want it. But on tablet and phone, we don't want them to have any margin because they're going to be stacked one on top of each other. So again, if we hit this little mobile icon, it gives us tablet. I just set that to 0. And because phone's smaller, it would have automatically set that to 0 also. There we go. If we click on the phone, 0. And desktop, still minus 25. So that's just exactly what we want. And lastly, just to make sure it's working fine because it's on top of our module, let's just make sure it's going to stay there by making it Z index, like I said before, higher than the module behind it. Now the module behind it's got a Z index of 1. So if we give this one 2, it should stay on top of it. Okay. Now we want to make these things disappear. So to do that, we want to affect our row. So let's go into the row, which is our green one here, hit the little cog. We'll go to design and sizing. Now we want a max width. We want to set the max width of this to 320. So it's no wider than our image right here. But on phones and desktop, we might want to change that. Okay, so we'll say max width right here. I'm going to hit the little arrow because we'll have 2 different settings, one for regular and one from when we hover over it. And the default setting, if I get on the right one, max width, the default setting we want is 320. There we go, and you see they've disappeared because they've squished themselves behind there. And max width on hover, we want it full width, which is kind of 1080, so sort of 1080p. There we go, so when we hover over it, it'll open up like that. But on tablet and phone, I want to make sure we've got that set to 1080 as well, because we don't want it to do it on tablet and we don't want it to do it on phone. That looks like it's set fine there. Okay, well I think we're pretty much set there. Let's just save this. Let's exit our visual builder. So we need to save our changes. If your little purple button's closed up like that, just click it when it's got the 3 dots. It'll open up and you've got the save icon on the right hand bottom side there. Just click on it. When we got our check mark, we can exit the visual builder. And go down. There's our top one, there's our second one, and let's see if this is going to work. There we go. There's our little hover effect that's showing our little services or our blurbs when we hover over it. So that's quite a nice little effect. It's fairly easy to achieve, and like I say, it's eye-catching and it will draw attention, and it's a nice way to showcase your services. So there we are. I hope you've enjoyed that. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, comment, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're interested in web development, take a look down below. We've got some great free web development courses down there, as well as some premium web development courses with some huge discounts for our YouTube subscribers, so do check it out. Once again, this has been Jamie with System22 and WebDesignAndTechTips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.